I'm often asked if there's anything extra I can teach people once I've learnt to meditate, which will help in their meditation, because it's not the easiest thing to do. And there are a few things you can do that will help. First thing is to always try and do it at the same time. What happens is that the mind, when you do it at the same time, the mind becomes conditioned to introverting itself. Normally the mind is very extrovertive, meaning it is always thinking about the world or yourself in the world. But here in meditation you're introverting the energies of the mind in towards higher consciousness. This it doesn't normally do. It's not used to doing this. Our conditioning, our education, our culture is always extroversive. It's very rare to introvert the mind. Even when we're on our own thinking, some will say meditating, but actually you're just thinking about yourself in this world might be your problem or something like this. True meditation, spiritual meditation, takes you inside of yourself beyond the mind itself, to higher consciousness, to blissful infinite consciousness. So when we meditate, we create a special vibration, and when we do it at a certain time, our minds start to learn to introvert itself towards that infinite consciousness state. And you'll find that when you've been doing this for some time, if for some reason you don't do it, your mind will naturally go into a more introverted spiritual state. You'll feel quite elevated, euphoric. Your mantra might start to go automatically. This is a sign that your mind has become habituated to meditating at this particular time. So that's the first thing. Try and do the meditation always at the same time. I know it can be hard, particularly if your work is shift work or you're having different worldly responsibilities that pull you away, but at least your first meditation, first thing in the morning, have your wash, shower, and then meditate so you get into the system, get into the habit of conditioning your mind to be more introverted rather than always extroverted. The second thing you can do is to try and have a place where you do the meditation. Ideally having your own room, which is only used for meditation. But if you don't have that luxury, well then at least in your bedroom, have a place in your room, in your bedroom, where you sit and meditate. So that vibrates that area. If you have a room, it's important that you only use it for meditation, and when you're in there, if you talk, it's only to do something related to the meditation. You don't chat with anyone else, if you let them to also be in there. That way the vibration becomes very strong, very spiritual, and it will affect you, so you'll be able to go deep within yourself very easily. Another thing you can do, if you find the mind's wandering a lot, try singing Baba Nam Kevalam, the mantra I've talked about. You can also use that mantra, Baba Nam Kevalam, if you don't have your own personal mantra. The more you sing it, the more it helps. Chanting it, singing it is very beneficial. It clears the mind of a lot of worldly thoughts, so when you sit down you can go deeper quicker rather than spending most of your meditation just clearing out all your thoughts. Another thing you can do if you're having trouble is to be more careful about what food you eat. Vegetarianism is recommended. It helps very much the mind to go introvert itself. The energy from meat is very extroversive and crudifying. So try and reduce, if not give up completely. If you do the meditation regularly, eventually you'll lose interest. Or you'll develop the willpower to give it up, and you'll lose interest. But in the meantime, just reduce it as much as you can. And also there are other foods. Even though they might be good for the body and they're vegetarian, They're not good for the mind. Yogis, meditators, have to be more careful about what they eat, particularly on how it affects the mind. And the three big ones that really have a detrimental effect are onions, garlic and mushrooms. Onions include chives and leeks. Onions and garlic have a very stimulating effect on the mind. Excites the mind, makes it very hard to control. And mushrooms have a very deadening effect on the mind. You look at mushrooms, they grow in dead and decaying matter. This is the effect it has on your mind. If you drink coffee, try to reduce that, not more than 2 or 3 a day. That will greatly affect your ability. In fact, all caffeine, chocolate, Coca-Cola, tea, all of them you should eat or drink in moderation. If not, when you get really serious, you give them up. But you don't do anything that is a suppression. You don't give up something because you heard it's good even though you have a strong attachment. You do the meditation regularly and then gradually these attachments you lose interest in and you can give them up very easily. Sugar is another thing, particularly if you're finding you're sleepy, get very sleepy in your meditation. It's best to reduce, if not go without. I only take it on special occasions. These things, and of course eating in moderation, not too much even of good food is not good. Particularly before meditation, you should try and meditate always with an empty stomach, at least 2 hours after a meal. And if you eat on the light side at night, then you'll find the morning sadhana, the morning meditation, much easier. Another thing you can do is attend group meditation as much as you can. At least once a week is recommended, because the collective vibration really elevates the mind. It's hard on your own. And also having other people of like minds help you, inspire you to keep meditating. Finally, just try when you sit to meditate, take resolve. I'm here in this life to find out who I really am, and this is why I'm meditating. And to take this resolve, at least for this half an hour or however long that you decided to meditate for, you should try and eventually achieve it so that you can do at least half an hour twice a day. Take the resolve to not let your mind wander, or if it does wander, just keep bringing it back, keep bringing it back. The more you want to do something, the better you get at it. And the old saying is true, practice makes perfect. So be regular in what you do in the meditation. Just as an athlete is always training every day, he does not train because he doesn't feel like it. Similarly, you meditate every day. You're training your mind to become more spiritual, to become more introverted and aware of the subtle spiritual vibrations that exist, which are very loving and peaceful. So enjoy your meditation, go deep, and remember always the force that guides the stars are guiding you also. So you should never feel alone or helpless. Namaskar.